Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I'd like to speak about The Devil's Candy, a horror film directed by Sean Byrne. The Devil's Candy follows the story of a family which happily moves into their new home, although fully aware of the fact that the building has a very creepy past. As a matter of fact, the previous owners had actually died on the premises. The first few days in the new house fly by as the family slowly starts to get accustomed to the new environment. Daughter Zoe starts attending a new school, and Jesse, the dad, which is a painter, loves his new workspace where he can create his art in total freedom. But things soon take a turn for the worst as the previous owner's son, Ray, starts harassing the family, desperately wanting to return to his old home. Ray has a history of severe mental illness. He claims he can hear Satan constantly speaking to him, ordering him to commit heinous crimes, so he tends to be cut out from normal social interactions and acts very aggressively and impulsively because of these voices he can hear. But the situation soon escalates when these demonic whisperings start to spread to other characters, and Ray's condition and violence becomes uncontrollable. Certain features of The Devil's Candy reminded me of films like Insidious or It Follows, horror films which are nowhere even close to being realistic, but which still maintained an interesting and solid story and didn't join the sky-high pile of low-quality, over-the-top concepts and excessive jump scares which swarm most of the horror films today. The Devil's Candy, Insidious, It Follows are excellent examples of films which are not limited to a simple Halloween night pick. On the contrary, they're the kind of films that get you thinking and also highly recommended to your friends. The Devil's Candy is eerie, creepy and very violent, but not in a low-budget, exaggerately splatter manner. It is clever, thought-provoking, interesting, and the dialogues tend to be rather limited, leaving space to the beautifully creepy imagery, which immediately captures the darkest tunnels of our minds. For example, a recurring feature throughout the whole film is the presence of the colour red, the first colour we would associate with concepts such as the devil or hell, and a colour which our brain instinctively recognises as a sign of peril. In The Devil's Candy, the colour palette of the background mainly focuses on insipid colours such as greys, browns and blacks, but then when danger and satanic elements are introduced, the colour red makes its unmistakable appearance on stage. Our mind is immediately triggered to feel fear and recognise peril. Ray mostly wears a bright red outfit. The glass front door to the house has a red cross which casts a bright, eerie, frightening colour onto the interiors. There are often images of bright red blood being mopped up. Jesse's most frightening paintings are rich in elements such as wounds and fire. So the film heavily plays on this psychological element. It plays on making us feel uncomfortable and uneasy. We are distressed upon seeing certain images. It also triggers the weirdest mazes of our minds by making Jesse conveniently look exactly like the popular image we all have of Jesus Christ, prompting our mind to bring up the automatic connection and contrast between the Catholic Church and the concept of evil, whether we believe in these concepts in Jesus or not. The plot gains a much more creepy appearance than it would have had with any normal old person, your average looking John Smith. The Devil's Candy then also proceeds to make us feel incredibly uneasy and to highlight the danger of the whole story by introducing deep, mean, visceral heavy metal sounds, the only thing in the film that seems to be able to cover the devil's whispers. So throughout the whole film we are kept absolutely terrified because of how our instincts are triggered and kept alert. Also, the plot doesn't give us that much information about Ray's background, about his character. In the opening of the film he is introduced with references to a psychiatric institution in which he used to be hospitalized, but that's about it. So another frightening aspect is the fact that we have no idea what Ray might have done and what he could be capable of doing. So in general, this film is the perfect portrayal of evil. Whether you want to read it as a metaphor of general evil, or whether you want to stick to the film's concept of a demonic influence. In general, I really love this film and I would highly recommend it to anybody looking for a combination of creepy, gruesome, but also thought-provoking concepts. The film swiftly moved through the plot, pausing on each concept and aspect for just the right amount of time without losing itself in useless side plots, underlining important elements such as love for children, love for your family. I'm usually very picky about horror films because so many of them tend to fall into the same repetitive scheme, and also often films about demons tend to be extremely exaggerated with bad CGI and two-dimensional screaming, hair-grabbing characters. Let me know what you thought about The Devil's Candy with a comment here below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe for more movie-related content. See you soon. Bye.